Okay, let's get straight into it. So this video is going to assume that you know how to use the Ovi'Nax Mercurial leg, and if you don't, I'll explain it at the end of the video, so I'm gonna get into the meat of it immediately. So as you can see, we had 30 stacks of standing still, giving us the main stat, and if I move once, let it go to 29, and I stop, it gives me one stack of my secondary being mastery, and it goes back to 30. And this way, instead of having 30 stacks, which the trinket, well, it says that it gives you 30 stacks, you have 31. And now, in a pre-pull scenario, I would prep my one stack of secondary, and now I would keep moving all the way until my strength is at 20, so we avoid those diminishing returns. And ideally, I would lock my trinket here. So now I have 20 stacks of main stat and 11 stacks of secondary stat. And if for some reason you want secondary stats more than main stats, I don't know what classes do, but I mean, I'm not a virtuoso that knows everything. But yeah, you basically just do the same thing reverse. So now I'm constantly moving, holding the 30 stacks of main stat. And oops, I did it by accident. Let's reset. Now I'm constantly moving, I stop moving for a tick, and I start moving again. So now I have one stack of main stat and 30 of mastery, and now I let it fall. I'll let it fall till mastery is at 20 and strength is at 11. And again, I have 31 stacks. And now I would lock it here, basically. But it's on cooldown, so I can't lock it. But yeah, that's how you get one extra stack. It's ideal to do in a pre-pull situation. Not exactly realistic to set up in a raid encounter, but it's, neat trick. And not only can you do those tricks, but there's also one additional, very unrealistic trick to pull off in a mythic scenario or raiding scenario, but I'll show it anyway. So let's say that you have to keep moving, but you want to maintain your main stats, which you gain by not moving. So it's kind of a conundrum here. What you can do is you can stop moving the moment the trinket is about to count down. So I would keep moving now, and stop here, stop here, stop here, stop here. It's kind of like hard to pull off, but you can manage. Like this way, I'm getting movement in and I'm getting my main stack stat, if I do it correctly. The timer is a bit inconsistent. Usually it's around the second mark, but sometimes it can be faster, sometimes it can be slower than a second. So bear that in mind. It's not a really realistic trick to pull off in like high-end mythics or raiding, but like I said, something fun to do. So if everything I said previously in the video went way over your head, don't worry, now is the part that I actually explain how the egg works. So the egg gives you 30 stacks, and the way it allocates these stacks is basically by seeing if you're standing still or moving. If you're standing still, you get stacks of red, which gives you main stat, which is strength in my case, and if you're moving, it gives you green stacks, which is mastery, your highest secondary stat. And the way this egg works is that you can actually lock these for 20 seconds with the egg's on use effect. Now I'm standing still and nothing is changing. I'm moving, nothing is changing. And that's gonna last for 20 seconds. And the reason why you don't wanna stay at the extreme sides of 30 is because after 20, the stats get a heavy diminishing return, being reduced by 60%. So we want to avoid that unless you're a class that strictly benefits from either side. I don't know any, but for a Fury Warrior, 20 stacks of strength and 10 stacks of mastery seems better than simply 30 stacks of strength. But yeah, now you can understand the tricks as well, hopefully. And if there's any questions, just feel free to comment below.